Hello everyone, StarUltros here, bringing you a new video. Today, since I keep postponing and procrastinating on doing my news coverage for the old units, Last Will and Reagan that I missed a couple weeks back, it was requested that I do a guide on True Grace of Lightning, because the fight's been massively power crept by now anyway, but just to do like the all the tags to get the accessible, not the accessories, sorry, but the materials to grab the materia for the overkillers. So we're gonna get into it here. So let's just go and start the fight. So this one here, and we're gonna grab a friend Bartz to do it because Bartz does fit the categories I want to do here. So the categories we're going to do is crystals, gathering, and sword masters. There are two other categories as well. There is lightning and rebels. I'm going to do a separate clear for rebels and lightning because they go very well together, and it's going to be maybe a good way to showcase lightning's crowns and her power with that. And this is going to be a good showcase of Senzara's Bartz one more time because he is a very good carry unit for this. So first of all, just to avoid any headaches, I'm giving the Death Resist party skill. In terms of gearing, well, we have Richt, who is the leader because he covers everyone for 1700. And if we go look at the gear here, first of all, we're using Onion Knight as a tank, but also secondary, well, tertiary damage dealer. So he's geared for damage in base form. So base form, I geared him with the full Onion suite. Here, Lightning's Dagger because it's better than the other Onion boots. Just to get the TMR, the trust ability like activated, I gave him his STMR. It is kind of the same as the Onion armor anyway. For the rest of the gear, then it's just killers for dragons and for machine. I gave him Alexander for machine killer. He will still deal damage on the dragon at the end, but it's because the overkiller will go on other better characters for damage. The card, I gave him this one because it gives attack and defense, although he's probably not going to need defense that much anyway. In the shift form, I geared him more for spirit than defense because he will be covering some magic attacks as well, and I don't want him to die to those. So I gave him the Warrior of Light sword, Ronda's shield. That was Ronda's, right? Anyway, Season 4 shield. The Midsummer Boater for some guts just in case, his STMR obviously. I gave him this cloak here for ailment resist because you will need ailment resist to survive Chaotic Engine, so the third fight. And I gave him some MP reduction here with 3 stars. That's 5-star Trans Terra's STMR in case people didn't know. And then here, literally just spirit, and I gave him this for some HP, and some more spirit with this, so, like, I went all in. So all spirit, it's probably going to be overkill, but, I'm not taking any chances. We're going to start the fight with him in the shift form as well, for what it's worth. Second unit here, this one is a breaker and also secondary damage dealer because we're going to use light so he can imperil light. I gave him the Dark Vision Greatsword, so he has to use his shitty TMR. Sorry, his bad TMR. But it also gives a little bit of Dragon Killer, so I guess it is sort of useful. Not really, yeah. So ailment resist here and some machine killer to bring him to 300. He is on Odin for the Dragon Overkiller, and the materia here are literally just machine killer. That's all I wanted to give him. He is flat at 600 thanks to my great sword having a little bit of attack there. Well, 60% is more than a little bit anyway. So if you don't bring him to like 600%, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Since I wanted to max out everything, I gave him the Gathering card to have the extra 100% LB damage. And of course, I have Clouds as TMR for the chain cap. Next, this is the carry DPS of the fight. So this is Richt. Not yours, but I will start him in the base form. I gave him just the Dark Vision sword, so he has to use this TMR for the Trust Mastery ability. Very important to give him in both. Yeah, I gave it. Okay. I don't. Yeah. You will need. Sorry, you will need ailment resist in both forms for him. Make sure to gear both. I geared him for damage in base form, but you're never gonna actually deal damage with him in base form, so feel free to gear him for spirit if you want, because he will be taking some magic damage against Chaotic Engine. I gave him the crystal card because it's a free card, and also because I didn't have the economy to give him any more LB damage with the killers, and he has 50% Dragon Overkiller from the Materia and 50% Dragon Overkiller for from Bahamut as the Esper. Shift form, exactly the same gear, like 100% the same thing. Just copy both, and you'll do just fine. These next two units are basically just to fit the categories. Although Sage here, this is the shift form of the first Neovision. No, sorry, the Neovision Awakened Onion Knight. I'm using this one for the for Shelga, some healing. So he'll be doing a little bit more than just being there. I geared him for Spirit. Some MP reduction, even though he's not going to need it, and obviously as well the ailment resist. Otherwise, some guts just in case, and overall a lot of spirit. Well, a lot, you know, quote unquote, because 2800 is not a lot. I gave him also for survivability Jack's card, so he has 25,000 HP. Next here we have this one is the first Neovision Onion Knight. We can definitely tell they're different from the sprites. Anyway, base form is not going to be used. I just geared him like sort of for damage in shift form, but honestly he is not going to be carrying anything. I tried to give him as much of the killers as I could. He's not going to be doing much. He's there more as a secondary breaker, and also, you know, mostly for the categories as well. And for Bartz, it's classic build. Well, kind of, yeah, regular build, I would say. Nothing too out of this world. Make sure that he has as high dragon and machine killer as possible, but he is not going to be the main DPS at all. He's going to be mostly a support with his fields, because we're going to go for light. So his fields, imbues, even a little bit of killer. So we'll see how it goes with him. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so the first fight, what he does on turn 1 is only a physical attack, so our friend here, Onion Knight, is going to take care of it. We're going to do Protega, we're going to do Cover, and we're going to do Attack and Magic Break. With Sage here, we could either guard, so I'm just going to do Shelga. With Axstar, we're going to do his LB modifier buff for later. We're going to do the big breaks and the imperils. With is he called Ninja in this form? Anyway, no, Onion Knight. With Onion Knight, we can do some Mirage just to help take a little bit less damage. Richt is starting in base form because he is going to be using his cooldown ability here for the 400% LB damage buff and also stat buff to everyone. He is also going to use his LB modifier buff, and okay, I guess he can just punch the boss for the rest. Bartz here is going to imbue everyone and do both fields, and then we just send everyone. Turn 1's kind of uneventful, it's only a physical attack. So Onion Knight's just laughing at the attack. Turn 2, we're just going to Omni cover with Onion Knight. And oh, actually, you know what we're gonna do? Yeah. Okay. I have an idea. Okay, so we're gonna use his LB modifier buff. We're gonna Omni cover. Let's break again because we can. Sage can just guard now. Axstar can also do this to recover a little bit of MP. Cast it 3 times, why don't we? You don't have anything to do, so just do Mirage again. Rick can finally shift. We're gonna Quinn cast. Actually, are we gonna Quinn cast? No, I don't think it's necessary, so we're just gonna triple cast. We're gonna do the Omni Weapon Imperil. We're going to do the attack buff. And for the rest, basically nothing, so let's just do Mirage again. So you can guard, I guess. And with Bartz here, we're going to use his LB modifier buff. And MP regen, why don't we? And then HPE. So this is what it looks like for the first fight. Next turn we're going to kill. So since Onion Knight is Omni covering, he's going to take basically no damage from the magic damage on turn 2, because this is magic damage, that's why we're Omni covering. And then we're just going to send everyone... oh, sorry. So Onion Knight will shift back to the base form. Even though his ALB is wind, thanks to the Imperil we have here, and the wind, he's still going to hit a little bit. Not very high, but, you know, enough to help. Then we do this with the light element. And these two here can do absolutely nothing. It is going to be fine. So let's send, I guess, these together and these together. And there we go. Massive overkill for this boss. Very easy. Now, it's a little trickier for the second boss. Because since he dispels us on turn 1 and he uses stop and a bunch of stuff, we don't really want to have to deal with him. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kill it on turn 1 altogether. To do that, we are going to use both overdrives with Bartz. I keep wanting to call him Sindar because that's the name I see there, but Bartz. So once all of the overdrives are activated, Bartz is going to use the Imbue, the Sword Imperil, and stat buff. The fields are still active. Does that do better? Yeah, it does better. Better off doing this. Okay. So I'm going to use the LB with Onion Knight here because that's an 89% break. And we're going to use LB with all 3 of these and wish for the best. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's more than enough. So thanks to the overdrives, this one's going down easy and we don't have to deal with the dispels and the stop and the counters. Now, this one, we have to take our time a little bit. So for turn 1, we are going to shift back. And we are going to triple cast Protecga, Barstone Ja, because we need some Earth Resist. And I guess cover, but I don't think it's going to do much. We are going to triple cast with Sage here to give Shelga to everyone. Let's give re-raise to some people just in case. With Axstar, what are we gonna do? Nothing much, I think. So we're just gonna guard with Axstar. We can guard with Bartz as well. We can also guard with Rick. And with Onion Knight, we are going to use this materia over here that I gave him. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, which is a breaker materia from Reagan the Return. So the first white coat Reagan in Neovision. just to break for the attack and magic stats. And then we go. So turn 1, the boss is going to deal a bunch of different types of damage. It is randomized for a lot of it, but he's also going to put up Mighty Guard, as we remember from the regular Grace of Lightning. So we can't damage it until turn 5. Well, we could, but it wouldn't do much. Turn 2 here, we don't need to do anything much, so we can just guard with him. Guard with you. Should we start? No, not right away. So we're gonna guard again. We can just guard with everyone basically on that turn. Now Richt is stuck in the base form, but the timing will be perfect with when we need to kill the boss, and be ready as well for the next fight against the last boss. And yeah, let's just guard with everyone. Let's do this. There you go. Oh, I could have used. Yeah, I guess that was a bad idea on my part. Yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah, I should have done this. We're going to do it now, so... Is that a good idea? Is that even a good idea? Not anymore. So we're going to start setting up now. We need to break the boss again, so we're going to use the breaks on Onion Knight here. We are going to, because the boss dispelled, by the way, if you didn't notice. We're going to reapply Shelga and double Kiraga with Sage. And now we're going to start the setup, so, ready? Only got 2 turns left. Yeah, 2 turns left, good. So, starting the setup, we do the break and the imperil. We're going to reset the field, and we're going to redo the imbue with... what imbue can wait? I guess we can do some stat buff here. We take less damage. Or you can take care of this stat buff. Why don't you? Yeah. So he's going to take care of the stat buffs. Okay, there. I'm going to use this for more mitigations. Sorry, I'm making it up as I go. So I did... Okay. Refreshing the fields. And we are going to do some LB fill with Bartz here. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Alright. And on this turn we're going to Omni cover with what's his face? Onion Knight, because we want to make sure that his LB will be ready for next turn, and also that the boss will die. And that we don't die on the way. So let's do the big setup with him. Sage can just heal us again. And let's protect. Yeah, it's for 4 turns, so we're fine. No, we're not. Let's do it again. Axe Star. We're gonna do. No, we don't need that. Actually, do we need anything else? We don't really need anything else, so. Yeah, I guess you can just guard on that turn. You do MP. No, you don't. You can just guard. Alright. Your setup was done. We can do the bigger light imperil with him, I guess. And that's all we're gonna do. So just a bigger light imperil. It's a tiny bit more, but it's going to help anyway. We do this. Yeah, we can do that. Let's use the overdrives on this turn, because all of the ability uses we're going to be doing along the way will give us the overdrives again for the next fight. I don't even know if it is useful. I'm just doing it because I can. Okay, so with Bartz here, we are going to Imbue everyone with light, use his LB modifier buff, and should we do this? I guess we can. Yeah, we're really winging it here, so. What could go wrong? Watch everyone die on this turn because I forgot something. Doing good so far. Alright. So now we're going to bring Onion Knight back to the base form. You don't need to do anything. We're going to shift Richt on this turn to use his shifted LB, and he's also going to be in the shift form for the next battle. You can join in for some damage because why not? Even Bartz is going to join in the fun, and we can heal again with Sage for no good reason. So let's have these two go together. So we're going to send Onion Knight and Bartz together, then we're going to send the old Onion Knight alone, and then we're going to send Richt and Axstar. Something like this. And at the end we're going to send this just to use the ability. That was probably a massive overkill, but as long as it works, I'm happy. And then for the last fight, we just want to kill him on turn 2. We just have to be lucky that no one dies from his unprovocable and uncoverable attacks. So what we do is we shift here with Onion Knight. We are going to use Protega, Omni Cover, and yeah, attacking Magic Break. Actually, no, you know what? Protega, Omni Cover. And we're going to use the LB modifier buff. Now, Sage here. Shell Gun. And that's all. The Ninja here is going to use the materia for the breaks. Axstar is going to use, Oh, you know what? Might be better to do this. Yeah. This break instead. So Axstar can use the big LB damage buff, big amplify, and yeah, it's gonna be better this way. And his modifier buff. Richt can use everything he has, the weapon in peril, and as well as his attack buff. And Bartz is going to use the big imperil, the big amplify on everyone. And probably the killers would be better. Yeah, let's use the killers. What could go wrong? Let's see. Alright, now he's going to do 2 random target attacks. Oh, and somehow they went all to Onion Knight, which is great. Now we're going to return Onion Knight back to the base form. You don't have anything to do. We're going to use the overdrives as well for the last time of this fight. Here, since his LB is refilled, we can use him for some damage on top of it as well, for what it's worth. And so we're going to do the same thing as the previous boss. We send Onion and Bartz, and then we send other Onion, and then the other 2. So, something like that. As you can see, massive overkill once more. We're going to look at the damage breakdown at the end, just to see the contribution of this poor Onion Knight, maybe. And see if Bartz was actually the damage carry at the end of the day. Who knows? Because he did join in a lot of the bursts at the end of the day. So let's see. Oh my god. Yep, actually he was. Okay. Well, look at, yeah, Onion Knight with 4 billion. He's there, reminding us that, you know, we've had too many Onion Knights. So, that's it for the, gathering. Yeah, okay, let's just go look at them. So it is Swordmasters, Crystals, and Gathering. And the other two will be Rebels and Lightning, which we're going to do together on the next fight. We could have done this clear being Lightning, Swordmasters, Crystal, and Gathering all together using Bartz by replacing some people who weren't Lightning in the clear. If I had, say, my own Bartz, I could have like replaced Axstar with Bartz, and that would have been fine. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I wouldn't have had any good breaks. Anyway, you get the gist. Pretty simple to follow. If you don't have the units to follow this, you might want to break it down in more than one clear. If you want some strategies, you can just ask down in the comments. I will try to help as much as I can. Otherwise, if you really need like one specific clear per tag, I can also go and do that. Because the fight is pretty simple. Well, I say that. I think it's one of the easier Grace fights. I've learned this one pretty well. And it's not as annoying as Grace of Water, because you don't have to wait 1,000 years for Leviathan's shield and everything. So I don't mind redoing this one. And I will return to record a Rebel and Lightning clear in, I don't know, a couple of days, maybe something. When I get the time and when I feel like it. So thanks for joining, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!